What are the various colleges that would accept your NMAT score? Now that NMAT scores are out, let's take a look at that. It will help you fill the forms properly and with a proper thought process. Let's take a look at the very first one, NMIMS. And within NMIMS, the most important course is MBA core program, for which people write NMAT. The cutoff requirement is 234 for the overall exam, and there is a sectional cutoff which is something like that. For LR it is 71, for LS it is 76, and for QS it is 71. Basically you can think that it has to be more than 70. If you do not get that, that means even if your overall NMAT score is higher, you won't receive a call from NMIMS. Of course, these are based on past trends, so we'll have to just check that. The ROI is 25 lakh per annum over 26 lakh fee. Now in reality, I would be confidently stating this thing, that although it is written 25 LP over 26 lakh fee, the actual package generally in a very mean or median sort of range is somewhere around 20-21. Okay, but that's okay because it is sourced from the website. So I think this is a good way to look at that. The only thing you will have to realize is that it offers a good return on investment, and that's absolutely okay. How to apply for that? You can't apply for that right now because it had to be applied earlier when you were planning to take your NMAT exam. Now that exam is over, you can't apply for any of the campuses because all the deadlines are done. Let's take a look at, if you have already filled that, then so when and if you can receive the call. The second program I have listed is the Great Lakes program, which is MBA PGPM. Now that is the Chennai college that I'm talking about. Great Lakes has two campuses, one is in Chennai, one is in Gurgaon. I'm talking about this one. For that, the NMAT requirement is 200, but you have to just go and check if other criteria are met. So there could be, that there could be a requirement of work experience if you are using NMAT score, something like that. So I would really recommend that you just go and check what is their overall criteria. Yeah, but as far as NMAT is concerned, the score requirement is 200. The ROI is 18 lakh per annum over 21 lakh fee, which is a good ROI. So even if they don't give 18, maybe 16 or so, that's a good thing to start with. It's a good college. You can definitely consider that if you are going for MBA this year. The deadline for that would be 3rd January 2025. So you still have time. You can think about it. The third one would be again NMIMS, but in this case I would talk about MBA HR. Both these programs, the earlier core program that I talked about was of MBA Mumbai. Here also I am talking about MBA HR in the Mumbai campus of NMIMS. All the other campuses would come quite later on. So you can definitely fill those with NMAT score, but here the two programs that I am talking about in number 1 and number 3 are of the Mumbai campus. Again, the score requirement here is 234 and the cutoff is more or less the same. 19 LP over 26 lakh fee, I have just kept it at number 3, and Great Lakes slightly above that because comparative ROI is slightly higher. And also if I talk about Mumbai, the living expenses are there, so which I have not included in the fee, right? So but yeah, that's okay. So this also gives you a comfortable return on investment if you are aiming to make your career in HR. That's a good thing. The fourth one again would be NMIMS, MBA Business Analytics and Digital Transformation course, also known as BA and DT. In this case, the requirement is 225 NMAT score. The specific cutoffs of the sections would be as listed. So here you have LR and QS as slightly less than 70. So take a look at this one. If you are falling in this bracket, you can definitely consider that. And in fact, the ROI here is also quite cool. So, if you are willing to go for business analytics, that it would be a good thing. But here, because it is a specialized program, my dear, I would recommend that think through. You should not be in a course just because the course is offering you a seat. You should be in the course because you want to do that. So take a look at how your career goals can be met if you are going to deal with business analytics and digital transformation. How to do that? Go to the respective website, check the course curriculum that they are offering. If those are the kind of subjects you want to study, and also check what type of jobs are offered there. And if those kind of jobs you are willing to do, then only you should pick that, otherwise not. Generally, I say that specialized programs should only be taken by people who have some work experience and are more clear on what they want to do. Let's take a look at the next one. TAPMI, very good college, offers good return on investment. The better part about TAPMI is that even though initially it might not provide you enough or more than enough, say, package, let's say if you think that the package is slightly less, but in the longer run you would be getting that kind of a package because the entry to various organizations is quite good from here. So if you do well in your academics and during your college time at TAPMI, you will be able to secure a good future. So this is also one of the good colleges that you should definitely consider if you are going to think about MBA through your NMAT score. The NMAT score requirement is 220 in this case. The ROI is 15 LP over 19 lakh fee. The deadline is 28 December 2024. So the moment you see this video, there is a good chance that you might be left with maybe 2-3 days or so, or 4 days or so. It would be a good idea to fill this form right away if you are willing to do MBA this year. Let's see if eventually you crack the subsequent process and you join it later on, but do not miss out on the deadline. Then it is XIMB. Very good. XIMB again. So here I am going to talk about the HR program of XIMB, which is XIM University or XIM Bhubaneswar, whatever you want to call it. The NMAT requirement is 230. Now in this case, there is a domicile thing. If you are having an Odisha domicile, which means if you hold the citizenship, or citizenship though won't be a good word, but if you hold the residentship of Odisha, then for you it is 230, otherwise it is 234. And then there is a difference for engineers as well. So you can just maybe increase the cutoff by 1 or 2 if you are an engineer, otherwise this is something for non-engineers, you can take that. The ROI is also good here, 15 LP over 21 lakh fee. So that also can give you a good foot in the door. Again, for all these colleges, I would recommend that if you get into these colleges, it would be imperative for you to perform well so that you can be headhunted by good organizations. You can't just be an average guy. And I'm hoping that, if somebody is scoring 230, 234 in NMAT, would not be an average guy. The deadline for this is 23rd December 2024. So, fill it as soon as possible. The moment you see this video, there is a good chance that you might be left with a day. Then we have Great Lakes. Great Lakes MBA PGPM Gurugram. We earlier talked about Chennai. Now this is the Gurugram campus. The NMAT requirement is 200, which is quite comfortable. The average package is also fine. 15 LP over 21 lakh fee. Deadline is the same for both the campuses. So that is 3rd January 2025. You can consider that as well. Yeah, but although if you ask me, I would recommend that your priority list should have Chennai campus over Gurugram campus. Then finally there is this SDA Bocconi Asia Center. Now that's a good college, really good college. But when we talk about the SDA Bocconi Center in India, then the requirement is slightly changed. Okay, so the program that they offer is IMB, which is basically International Masters in Business. That's a good program. NMAT requirement is this. Now this is not what is officially listed here because there is a profile consideration also in this. However, we have seen that the current average, class average is 234, so that's quite competitive. So far we have seen that the ROI is somewhere around 14 LPA over 21 lakh LPA, which is a good ROI, but we are seeing that the growth is happening quite speedily. So in the coming years this college is going to go ahead faster than others, it seems so. So that is also something that you can consider. But for all these cases, you need to look at what are going to be your overall expenses other than the fee that you are going to pay. And on that basis, you should calculate your ROI. The deadline for this one is again there. So 21st January 2025 would be the one. So you can apply for that as well. Then, so this was the top 8 colleges. Then I'll just give you a quick table from say 9 to 16, which is something you can still consider. Now these are the types of colleges which you should consider only and only if you are willing to do MBA this year and you think that this would give me a better chance of securing my future compared to what you are right now, right? So these are the colleges in that order. I would want you to just pause the video for a moment, take a look at what these colleges are, what the deadlines are, and what the NMAT cutoff is. Within that, of course, for the KJ Somaiya, there is deadline of 20th January and there is a deadline of 30th January for IFMR Chennai. They all are offering decent packages for you to consider. And I think an MBA from these colleges can be a good idea, but you got to be, quite sure about that. So for these colleges, I would recommend have a chat with your mentor before going ahead with that. Here are some packages for you so that you can have a good understanding of where you might be getting into. In fact, for example, I would want your attention towards KJ Somaiya, 12 lakh LP over 21. Now, this is basically 50% ROI. I generally do not recommend 50% of ROI. And that's why I'm saying that it's a good idea to have a chat with some of your mentors. Now, I would again, of course, want you to just visit this bschoolzone.imsindia.com. This is our portal which will help you with all the programs, application deadlines, the cutoffs. You can also compare colleges. So for all these colleges, you can go for a quick, simultaneous comparison, parallel comparison, and that will also help you decide. Once you shortlist a couple of colleges, feel free to reach out to your mentor who will help you in finally deciding what you should fill. And of course, later on when you get the final calls, we can once again sit and decide whether you want to join something or not, or you should join something or not. That's all for NMAT accepting colleges.